Hello, my viewers. Welcome to One by One, a podcast where we uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets behind extraordinary success. I'm your podcast host, Robert Murigi, and we'll be building each other from the ground up. Subscribe now and never miss an episode from us. On our today's podcast, we are going to be looking into yet another proverb in mechanics. And it says, don't force it, get a bigger hammer. What do we mean by this? This is where we have a different approach on the things that we are doing every day. Sometimes it's not just by trying harder, but changing the way you are doing it and changing the way you are thinking about it, the way you have structured your ways of doing things. That is what matters, and that is what we are talking about today. We are talking about recognizing the way you want to do things this time. This is what I want us to pay attention to today. Recognize how your situation is at that time. What are we talking about here? When we are having tools, let us give an example of cutting a grider, that is a 9-inch grider, and you have put the wrong disc when you want to cut. Now this time you're not putting a cutting disc, but you're putting a grinding disc. What do you find here? This job and the whole job itself will be a total mess and it will be frustration. But what happens when you recognize that, the tool I'm using right now is not good or is not fit for what I'm doing today? What can we do very well? We are going this time to make sure that we have cutting disc. But how well would you be able to recognize this? This is by stepping back and reassessing the situation and see, this thing is not cutting even after being here for the last 1 hour. So sometimes it's not about working hard or trying harder, because what happens at this point, we are going to do more damage. You can damage the equipment, you can damage the tools because you did not recognize where you're failing. Let us think about this. What is your approach towards life? When you're faced with a particular situation, how well do you sit down and reassess that situation, and how well do you adapt the approach that you have to the situation that you're suffering today? We have seen this in many situations when you have a particular ache, like sometimes at our age you'll be having a backache. But what do you do when you have this? And what is the knowledge that you have amassed or you have gained over time, so that is able to help you to deal with the things that come to your life often or more or less every day? But how well do you adapt? Or how well do you adapt your approach to the situations that you suffer each and every day? This is very important, and we are looking into this, and that is what we're talking about. We are not going to force anything, but what are we going to do here? We are going to get that. We're going to sit back and reassess our situation and see, this backache is because I lifted something heavy which I did not sit properly. The lifting technique was not up to standard. And then what happens? So then you know that I'm going to treat this time, but next time you're not going to do that, because you're going to ask someone to help you lift. If something is 2-man lift, do not try to lift it by yourself, because you're going to crack your back and you're going to injure yourself, and this will hinder your progress in life. What are we going to do this time? We are going to explore more methods and more strategies on how we are going to deal with our problems today. And this is very important, because once you recognize what you're suffering today, it is easier for you now to go back and be able to know which strategy really fits this particular problem, or which methods can I use, or which methods did I use before and it did not work, and maybe they need a little bit of revision so that they can work this time out. There is this time when I wanted to do a small project at home, and I had a screwdriver, and a good screwdriver, but as I started doing this job, I realized that I did not need a screwdriver. I needed a drill with a screwdriver bit. Why? Because whatever I was doing needed speed rather than just being slow on whatever I was doing. I needed I needed more force and I needed more speed. And using this as a classic example, we find that there are many things that when you have the wrong tool, you might not be able to do some of the things. What happens to us? We go there, we blame ourselves, we say, oh, we are not skilled enough, we do not have the right resources, we don't have the money to spend on this. But sometimes you have to scrape all that and realize that the approach you have taken or the tool that you're using for that particular job is what is frustrating you, not your skills. And this can only be done through thorough reassessment of your situation. Let us see what we are going to find out today on this. Studying our limitation, and knowing when to pivot towards the right direction. And this comes in a very nice way, especially in 2024, where we have so many businesses going online, and you are able to reach more people when you have that Facebook page, or you have something that you are able to reach more people than just the walk-in customers in your business. This is one of the things that we are talking about, that do you understand your limitations? In 2024, the business is not as normal, it's not as usual as before, but what can we do? We can always know when to pivot, and at this time, we are able to know what to do about our business or what to do about our education. And this is something I've mentioned in the last episode. And I mentioned that when you have the ability to go to this phone and watch that one video which can teach you an extra skill, this is something that you will never regret. And why am I talking about this? Because I've seen the trend with the younger generation, and most of us, that we stay on the phone and we scroll and scroll and scroll. We damage our mind and we damage our time, and we'll never be able to recover from it. But what about we just do something to train ourselves on a different skill? And this time we have said that we are having issues, and this time we are getting a bigger hammer. But where are you going to get a bigger hammer if you have not spent any time to be able to amass that knowledge, to get the right tools for that business? How can we do this so that we can be able to move forward in certainty? What are the practical tips that we can learn today? One is you have to understand your frustration. What is frustrating you? What is this thing that you're not able to do at all and you need to sort it out? So, understanding your frustration. If you have an issue and you do not recognize, it's very important for you to understand your frustration before you push through without having a proper assessment. And the other one is you understand your tools at your disposal. What are the tools? The tools at your disposal. This is very, very important because sometimes we have situations, but when you look at the resources you have or the tools that you have to do that particular job, this can really cause frustration. But until you are able to recognize and you are able to do the assessment, that's the only time that you are going to make an informed decision to move forward. And also, on the same way that you want to get your tools, it's also very, very important to be able to see whether you can change the situation. That could also be a tool. Or you can change your friends, or you can change the way you look at things so that you are able to use that. Or if you need to do a particular course that would help you to become better in whatever you're doing each and every day. If you're doing online marketing, you could go and look at the similar businesses which are doing and which you can learn something from it so that you're able to move in congruence with today's world. And therefore, what is the other thing that we could do so easily is we could seek help. We could talk to the people who already have the right tools, the people who are in the right situations, so that they are able to help you, or they are able to advise you, or even to train you on that thing that you need to move forward in certainty. And the other one would be open-minded. Be open-minded person. And what do we find around this? When you are open-minded person, you are able to embrace change quickly. Because what is happening nowadays? Things are moving quick and no one knows where the direction is. But how can we do this so well so that we do not find ourselves in trouble? Be a person of open mind and know that and recognizing that this time things are changing. And what do I need to do? I need to change with it. Do not force yourself, but just get it right and have that open mind so that you're able to move forward and you're able to move in depths that you'll never be able to go in a normal situation. And therefore, being open-minded does not mean that you are failing or you're feeling how to do it. But this time, you are giving it the best that you need so that you are able to get it better. And when you change your approach, it doesn't mean that you have failed. Do not feel bad because now you have to ask for that help, or you have to seek help, or you have to change your tools. This does not mean that you are a failure, but it means that you are able to adapt to the new situations so that you're able to move forward in certainty. And therefore, these 4 areas, and understanding your frustration and knowing your tools and seeking help and also being open-minded, this will always help you to reduce your stress and be able to be more effective in that thing that you're doing. Shifting gears is okay, and let us do it. And sometimes just getting the right tool for the job is all you need to crack that code. This will always have a meaningful result in your life. And whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or seasoned professional or simply someone looking for inspiration, one by one, we will equip you with the tools and insight you need to lay the foundation of your own success stories. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us to grow and to bring you even more inspiring stories. Thank you for listening to Building from the Ground Up. Remember, every great accomplishment starts with one single step. What are you going to build today? Until next time, keep building, keep striving, keep reaching for your dreams.